softer through the center portion of her rib cage, give a little more depth from her spine down to the floor of her rib cage. But again, I think a real good type of female, really good in her condition and the way she's presented here today. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Charlotte, on exhibiting a first place late summer yearling heifer. We're now ready for Class 26, early summer yearling heifers. We have 3 entries. Ages range from May 25th, 2021 to July 4th, 2021.
I think a challenging class, and again a class with a lot of differences. We get some young heifers out here and they're different stages in their growth pattern, and I'm going to lead these heifers as they came in the ring, and I'm going to tell you what I see. Again, I'm a structure guy and I like cattle to be able to move. Again, the boldest and biggest bodied female is going to be third, but she just struggles off of both ends when she gets out and on the move. For me, the red and white heifer here that wins the class is probably the compromise heifer in the class. She puts all the attributes that the other two have in a more complete package, a more functional package. She's functional at the ground when she gets out on the move. She's long-bodied. She's powerfully made. You know, if you want to change this one, yeah, I'd like to see her a little softer through that center portion of her body, drop that depth from her spine down to the center portion of her lower rib cage a little bit more. But again, I think a real compromise type of female that balances up in this class. The show heifer look female comes next. This heifer, again, she's really sharp in her overall design. designed, the way she's made, very feminine and angular up through that first 1/3. She gives you a nice show ring presence look. You know, to me, she gets out and she travels well enough on those feet and legs. I just wish there was more heifer there. She's just a little bit greener and immature in her overall growth pattern. I just like to see a little bit more power, a little more rib cage in this one as well. The roan heifer that rounds off the class, like I said, she's the most robust. She has the most internal dimension. But again, when you set her in motion, as you see, she like to change. We need to change the angle of that shoulder. She's stiffer off that front end. She's shorter off the back end when she flexes and goes. But again, I think she's got enough attributes there for a nice brood cow prospect for that young lady as well. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to our early summer yearling heifer exhibitors. In the ring now, we are bringing our April junior yearling heifers. We have 3 exhibitors: Megan Keeney, Lorelei Barnett, Aubrey Short. Heifers range in age from April 1st, 2021 to April 9th, 2021. We are looking for our makeup area, the following heifers: Class 29, Peyton Davis, Keegan McGrew, Addie Wagner, and Alyssa Slimmer. Again, Class 29 heifers need to be ringside. Results of Class 26, first Addie Wagner with AMW Lady Liberty. Second, Audrey Short with CDR Candace 7J. And Michaela Burrier with third with MRB Phoenix, Arizona. Reading down your program, 1, 2, 3. We are not far away from the selection of our champion and reserve champion, Shorthorn heifer. Simmental exhibitors, just a heads up that we are moving quickly toward the end of the Shorthorn show.
Class A April females here. Like the last class, there's some give and take. You know, our class winner here, the roan heifer that starts out, again, a female, again, is probably the higher performing female in the class. She's got the most of everything as far as body capacity, width and dimension and mass and growth. A female, again, that I like the skull shape that she has. She's very feminine through her skull, very angular into that neck, into that shoulder. Again, a female that's got a lot of power and dimension. You know, when this heifer is set in motion, I'd like to modify her the way she walks off that rear end. She gets outside of her skeleton. I like to keep her tucked in just a touch more as she gets out and moves. But again, I think with all the bells and whistles that that one has, we have to use her to start the class. Heifer that comes next, again, a female that's very angular, has a nice look to her. She's probably a little more rugged as you analyze her as far as her foot and bone work compared to our class winner. A female, again, that gives you a nice look. I think she's adequate as far as her rib shape and the way she's designed. To me, she gets a little bit harder in that heart area, just a touch. To me, I'd like to level her out from hooks to pins, flex off her back end just a touch more, too. I just like to change that hip structure the way this heifer's designed from hooks to pins to get her up a little bit higher here and today. The roan heifer that rounds off the class, the young lady has, again, just a nice brood cow type of prospect. She's long-bodied and long-made, one that does give up that softness and the shape to that lower portion of that rib cage compared to the two heifers ahead of her, and that's her disadvantage here today. She just needs to be boulder sprung through the center portion of her body. But again, let's give those young ladies a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to our April junior yearling heifer exhibitors. Entering the ring now, we have our early junior yearling heifer exhibitors. We have 4 entries. Birth dates include January 26, 2021 to February 27, 2021.
Again, a real nice place to start in this class. The red and white heifer that wins the class, just a very attractive female. She grabs your attention when she comes into the ring. You just gravitate towards her. Just extremely well balanced, well managed type of female. Very feminine through that first 1/3. Again, I like the length of skull, the way that ties into that jawline, into that neck, comes out of the top side of that blade of that shoulder. A female, again, that's plenty of power, plenty of dimension. She's got the adequate rib shape and maternal look through the center portion of her body than the heifers that we've seen here today. Again, a female that's bold from the ground up, big made up top, big made from behind. Again, a female, if you're going to criticize her just a touch, you maybe like to have her step just a little bit freer and easier off that rear end, but again, I think that's being very critical of a really nice female. The red and white heifer that comes next, that again best follows her is overall balance and design, the way she's made and her body shape. Again, a female, I'd like to tone her down as far as condition. She gets a little bit staler looking out here. I'd like to freshen her up through that chest, freshen her up over her top. But again, when you set this one in motion, I think she's very practical, very well made type of female. Again, gives you a nice look from the side as well compared to our class winner as well. The roan heifer the young lady has here in third, again a female I'd like to tone down quite a bit. She's carrying a little too much condition. She gets a little bit shorter necked, shorter coupled on the move as she gets out and travels compared to the two heifers ahead of her. Now she is big topped and she is real bust centered, but again we just need her to blend just a little bit easier from front to rear compared to those two class winners. The red heifer that rounds off the class, you love the overall length and dimension that this one has. Big top, wide hip type of female. Again, in comparison to to the 3 heifers ahead of her, she gets a little harder through that center portion of her body. I like to soften her up, give her a little bit more of a maternal look, drop that depth from that spine to the center portion of her belly and rib cage down low. But again, a really powerfully made type of female there. Just lacks some of the maternal look that I'm looking for. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Nice class winner.
Congratulations to Class 29 Early Junior Yearling Heifers. First to Keegan McGrew with CF Mona Lisa. Second to Allison Slimmer with LWFS Mona Lisa. Third to Addie Wagner with Midnight Fancy. And fourth to Peyton Davis with SFF Nebraska Queen. We're now ready for our selection of our champion Shorthorn heifer. From Class 22, we should have Peyton Davis with your junior heifer calf. From your Class 24 early senior heifers, we should have Francesca Bologna. From Class 25, Charlotte Holland with your late summer yearling. From Class 26, early summer yearling heifer is exhibited by Addie Wagner. Class 27, April junior yearling heifer is exhibited by Megan Keeney. And Class 29, early junior yearling heifer is exhibited by Keegan McGrew. Please put your hands together for our champion exhibitors competing for champion Shorthorn heifer and reserve. Your champion Shorthorn banner was donated by Gypsy Creek Ranch. And your Shorthorn award jar was donated by the Maryland Shorthorn Association. And your reserve plate award was also donated by the Maryland Shorthorn Association.
Again, if you would, let's put our hands together here for our Shorthorn exhibitors here today. Again, I think a nice set of cattle all the way through. I think we got 2 sets of 3 that kind of pair up and match. I think cattle that are good in their makeup, they have that show ring presence, yet still have that maternal look. And again, as far as structure, I think they're functional enough to get around the ring. I'm not going to say there's one out here that's perfect when she gets out in the move, but again, I think very functional and very adequate. You know, I think there's 3 of them that pair up very nicely. They complement one another very well as the way they're designed as far as feminine look, show ring presence, maternal look, and internal dimension through that center portion of their body. Again, I think it gets kind of close for reserve. I think there's one out here that sticks out to me very easily that is going to win this division, and then I think it gets a little bit tighter for reserve. But again, I think the 3 that are in contention, I think are real high quality females. I'm going to go out and get you a champion reserve. If you would, please put your hands together for these exhibitors out here today in the Shorthorn division. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Keegan McGrew, for exhibiting the champion Shorthorn heifer at the 2022 Maryland State Fair. Alyssa Slimmer is re-entering the ring with her second place. Congratulations to Francesca Bologna for being our reserve champion Shorthorn exhibitor. In addition, Francesca is also our champion bred and owned Shorthorn exhibitor. Put your hands together for her. Simmental exhibitors, make your way to the ring, please. Simmental exhibitors, ringside, looking for Class 20 cow-calf pairs from Chase Harward and Isabella Smithson. We also need to start looking for our junior heifer calf exhibitors. Again, we're looking for Class 20, Chase Harward and Isabella Smithson. We also want to start calling Class 22 junior heifer calf exhibitors ringside. Again, we are ready to start our Simmental show. Exhibitors, please start making your way ringside.
Well, I tell you, this is probably the closest decision I've had to make all day today. The cow man in me loves both of these females. I mean, they are both just functional, good-looking, sound, good-made type of females in production. You can see the udder. They're doing a great job with both those calves. Again, I just love both of these females. And by saying that, they're both different when you analyze them. You know, you've got the younger cow up front, doing an excellent job with a March bull calf at side, and that cow again gives you a nice look to her. She's very long and extended. She's plenty robust through the center portion of her body with the internal dimension that she has. She has a nice udder there as well, and she passes that look onto that calf outside. That bull calf is a good looking bugger, good made, stout made, maturing nicely. She's doing an excellent job there. You know, when you set that cow in motion, she's very functional at the ground, gets out and moves. The cow, the older cow here too, the red cow, I love the overall added length of body that this one has. She is tremendously long spine, long hip type of female, big structure down low, really robust, really powerful type of female. She's got a younger May heifer calf on her, again, that you really like, the overall extension that that calf has. You know, this calf's probably going to be a show heifer for this young lady next year. And again, I think she's got a really good project started there. So it's really close in my mind between the two. And I guess when you really sit back and you analyze them, how the cow complements the calf or the calf complements the cow, for me, I'm going to go with the young man's black cow up front here to win this division. Again, excellent pair, very close placing. I'm going to use the red cow for a reserve. But again, congratulations to you both. Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause. This is an excellent project here.
Congratulations, Chase Howard, for exhibiting the champion cow-calf pair. CHS HFS Alley first, and Isabella Smithson with Clo Blazin' Fire second. We're going to have Chase Harward stay in the ring to exhibit his bull calf, LCSC Red Rider. We need Class 22, Simmental heifers ringside. Class 22 ringside. First call, Class 23 and 24.
Like I said, we talked about the bull calf there. He wants to follow Mama out the ring. But again, I think a really good bull calf this young man has here. Again, really sound from the ground up, put together good. Really robust through the center portion of his body, but yet still has that power. I like the extension he possesses from his neck out of the top side of that shoulder. Again, I think just a really good job this young man's doing. He's got a really nice pair with that cow and that bull calf at side. Let's give him a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Chase Harward, for exhibiting your first place Simmental bull. We'll see Chase and his cow-calf pair here back at the end of the show for the supreme overall selection of our cow-calf pair. If we're ready to roll, we're going to bring Class 22 junior heifer calves into the ring. I believe we should have 5 entries. Entering the ring is Isabella Smithson, Alyssa Slimmer, Isabella Smithson, Audrey Robertson, and Charlotte Smithson. Heifers in this class range in age from January 25th, 2022 to May 3rd, 2022. We are looking for the following exhibitors. For Class 23, Mabel Smithson. Class 24, Reese McNutt. Class 26, Charlotte Smithson. Please be ringside. AOB exhibitors, AOB exhibitors. We are moving quickly through our Simmental class. Again, we are moving quickly through our Simmental class, AOB exhibitors.
Again, a really nice class of Simmental heifer calves here, and again, like you heard, it's a big age range. You know, we got May through January, but this young lady that brings our class winner in, you know, when this one comes in, I mean, she just hits you really hard. A female that I love her overall design. She's so feminine and well made through that first 1/3. I love the extension in the neck that she has, the way it comes out of the top side of that shoulder blade. She's really chiseled into that jawline, but then when you get down into her chest and she flows that depth of heart and through the center portion of her body and that depth all the way out through her flank, and then gets out and travels really well. Again, just I think a really high quality female. If I was this young lady, I'd be pretty excited about this one and showing her next year. The red baldy calf that comes in, she was on that cow-calf pair, and she is the youngest calf in the class, and that's a disadvantage for her. But as far as you analyze these cattle for structural integrity from the ground up and the way they're made, this heifer probably puts the most good things together compared to the contemporaries in her class here. I think a really well-made type of female, like I said, in the cow-calf division. She's very functional, very fluid off of both ends. Maybe like to tone that tail head down just a touch, but I think a really high-quality female there as well. I really like this long-bodied, long-sided type female coming third. A tremendous amount of extension. She's really long-spined. A female that's got tremendous amount of length out through her hip as well. I think she's softened up through the center portion of her body. At times, because of her added length and added extension for her stage and her growth period, she seems a little awkward. It doesn't quite blend together quite as good from front to rear. I think as this female matures and everything comes together and she gets into that heart and into that center portion of her body, I think she's going to be a really good heifer that's going to compete with those two ahead of her down the road. She's just not quite there yet, but I like a lot of things about that one. The black heifer coming next, the young lady has, again, a female. I like her as far as her overall dimension and width that she has up top and down low. Maybe not quite as exquisite fronted as maybe the three heifers ahead of her, but I think she's very adequate as far as feminine looking and female looking as you analyze her. She's good through the center portion of her body as well. She's got a lot of depth there. When we set her in motion, she gets a little tighter in her top, right into that loin junction. I'd like to soften her up just a touch there as well. The red heifer that rounds off the class, again, the highest performing heifer in the class. I mean, this one put on the scales will probably tip them pretty heavy. This thing is packed full of red meat. She's really robust as far as muscle shape and dimension that she has. But with all that muscle and all that dimension and all that growth, she gets a little bit coarser appearing as they analyze her through that shoulder into that heart and carries that all the way out. I just like to smoothen her up just a touch all the way through as she blends from front to rear. But again, a really nice class winner there. Nice set of calves. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready for class 23. We have a single entry late senior heifer. We need class 24, Reese McNutt, class 26, Charlotte Smithson, class 27, Grady McGrew, class 29, Isabella Smithson. All heifers should be ringside at this time as these are single entry classes. Also, please keep your heifers at the ring for the selection of our champion and reserve champion Simmental heifer. Results of this class 22, first to Alyssa Slimmer with RWFC Kim K. Second to Isabella Smithson with Pondview Blazing Peaches. Third to Audrey Robertson with GCR Leaping Mary. Fourth to Isabella Smithson with Pondview Iris. And fifth to Charlotte Smithson with Pondview Honeysuckle.
Again, a single entry here, December female. Again, the young lady brings us. And again, you like the overall design and the overall length of body and the femininity that she possesses up through that first 1/3. And then she's just so smooth blending, you know, from that shoulder into that heart, carries that all the way out through her hip. Again, is she the softest middle one? No. But again, I think in her growth pattern, I think she has enough turn to that lower portion of her rib cage, enough shape to the center portion of her barrel. But again, you love the overall added bone and width and dimension that she has. She's very flexible when she goes off of both ends. A female, again, that could stand a lot more competition. Congratulations to you. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to Mabel Smithson for exhibiting our first place late senior heifer with Pondview Holly. In the ring now, we have class 24 early senior heifers. Reese McNutt is entering with a October 10th, 2021 heifer. Again, we need class 26, 27, 29 to ringside if you're not here. AOB exhibitors, AOB exhibitors. This is your 10-minute call.
Yet again, another single entry, but again, a female this October heifer. Again, she just balances up very nicely. She's smooth blending from front to rear, really good at the ground. When she gets out and travels, she covers that track. She flexes off of that hock and grabs some ground when she goes. Again, a female, when you get up on her, boy, she's got a lot of mass and power. She's got a lot of dimension through that quarter, a lot of dimension up high, and I think she's very adequate as far as her body capacity goes and matches her body type and her kind. Again, I think just a really nice practical female here for this young lady. Let's give her a nice round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Miss Reese McNutt with her early senior heifer, AASC Maybelline 4J. Entering the ring now, we should have class 26 early summer yearling heifers, Charlotte Smithson with a May 27th, 2021 heifer.
Again, several single entries here coming in, but again, all these single entries are really good quality type of females. This May heifer, again, designed really nicely. She gives you a nice overall balanced look. It gives you a nice profile look as far as a show ring presence to her as well. Again, a female that I love the length of her hooks to pins. She's really square and true out over that hip. Again, a female that I think has plenty of rib and capacity to her. You know, if you're going to pick on this one just a touch, I'd like to change that point of that shoulder just a little bit. Tends to get a little bit over center, but again, I think that's picking on a pretty dang nice heifer here. Again, a nice individual here in a single entry class. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Charlotte Smithson, on exhibiting her early summer yearling heifer, Pond View Lilac. We're now ready for our April Junior Yearling Heifer exhibitor. We have a single entry with Grady McGrew. Grady's heifer is an April 14th, 2021. Again, AOB exhibitors, AOB exhibitors. We are almost at the conclusion of our Simmental show. AOB exhibitors.
Again, a really powerfully made type of female here, and with that added power and mass that she possesses and the internal dimension she has through that rib cage, still very elegant about her overall makeup and very ladylike in her overall presence. I like the design through that shoulder. I like the design through that neck. A female, again, that gets out on a big foot, big bone, nice cannon bone circumference on this one, and yet still has a lot of power and dimension. Again, a nice female, certainly can stand some more competition. Let's give the young man a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Grady McGrew, for exhibiting your April Junior Yearling Heifer, BC2 Shelby. In the ring now, we should have our last class of early Junior Yearling Heifers for our Simmental division. We have one entry with Isabella Smithson, CNS, HFS, Bram Alley.
Again, another single entry February female here. And again, as I said earlier, the cow man in me loves the overall cow power that this female possesses. The overall maternal look and the depth and shape to that rib cage. A female that's really powerfully constructed from the ground up. A really stout made as you analyze her up over her top and from behind. Again, a female that I think balances up very nicely. You know, if you're going to change her just a touch, maybe like to lengthen that skull out just a touch, clean her up in her chest floor just a bit. But again, I think a really powerfully made female that balances up and puts everything together in a really nice complete package. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Isabella Smithson, exhibiting CNS, HFS, Bram Alley. We are now ready to select our champion and reserve champion Simmental heifer. Your champion Simmental heifer will be awarded a banner that was donated from the Mill of Bel Air. Entering the ring at this time, we have Alyssa Slimmer with your junior heifer calf. Mabel Smithson, exhibiting your late senior heifer. Reese McNutt, exhibiting your early senior heifer. Charlotte Smithson, exhibiting your early summer yearling heifer. Grady McGrew. Grady is exhibiting your April Junior Yearling heifer. And your early Junior Yearling heifer is exhibited by Isabella Smithson.
Well, if you would, ringside, let's put our hands together here for our Simmental exhibitors. Again, we had a lot of single entry classes, and again, I maybe took a little bit more time here, but again, when you get those single entries and you get these cattle back out here, you know, it's easier when you got cattle to compare things to and contrast to. And so when you get these single entries back out here, I want to go through and take another look and make sure I was reading what I wanted to read and see what I wanted to see and analyze these cattle. Again, I think it's a really good set of females all the way through. You know, you start on the end with that young calf down there and all the way back down to our senior yearling down here. Again, just good, practical, functional cattle from the ground up. They're good in their feet structure. They're good in their power and their makeup. They still have a maternal look. They have enough rib cage and shape to them. You know, there's some differences when you set these cattle in motion a little bit as far as structure and how they handle themselves. So that's what I'm debating through in my head and what I want to do. But I'm a structure guy, and I like cattle that can move. I like cattle because that brings longevity into a herd. If these females are going to go on and make cows and brood cows and calve year after year, they got to be able to get out and move, and they got to be able to function in their own skeletal design and their makeup and their body work. But again, I think there's two females out here that fit that mold for me. Again, one just strikes me just a little bit harder as far as truer at the ground and a little bit more structural integrity, and I think has a lot of future to them. But again, if you would, put your hands together, excellent set of cattle. Give these kids another nice round of applause. I'll get you a champion in reserve.
Congratulations, Alyssa Slimmer, for exhibiting not only your champion Simmental heifer, but also your champion bred and owned heifer. In the ring now, we have Isabella Smithson with her junior heifer class competing for reserve. Congratulations, Grady McGrew, for exhibiting the reserve champion Simmental heifer at the 2022 Maryland State Fair. We're going to give our Simmental exhibitors just a quick chance to clear the ring, and then we are going to move directly into our AOB division. AOB exhibitors, we do have quite a few entries in classes, so please keep your ears open so we can move the program along at a good manner. All right, we're ready to start our AOB division. We're going to start this division with our cow-calf pair, which is exhibited by Ellie Baker. Our cow is born May 10th, 2017. Class 22 junior heifer calves should be ringside. We do have 13 entries. First call, Class 24 early senior heifers, Ryder McNutt and Alyssa Slimmer, ringside.
Older cow here in a single entry class, and again a very feminine made type of female. Again, long spine, long fronted. I like the added extension that she has through that first 1/3, the way the neck comes out of the top side of that blade of that shoulder. Again, a female that is doing a good job milking, raising this calf, and again she's getting up in her, we're getting a little bit older, so again maybe that udder not quite as perfect as we'd like to see, but I think it's adequate as far as size and teat size. Again, doing a nice job raising that calf at side. A very attractive heifer calf as she's got on a little tag on the back side of her, and again I think a really long sided type of female. Just a nice pair. Let's give this young lady a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Ellie, and we will see you in your cow-calf pair at the conclusion of the show for the selection of the Supreme Cow-Calf pair. We're now ready to start our heifer show. Entering the ring, we have 13 heifer calves. Exhibitors include Dakota Bernard, Ellie Baker, Madison Bailey Hedges, Madeline Rhodes, Kylie Shoebrooks, Charlotte Holland, Grady McGrew, Carly Black, Keegan McGrew, Charles O'Boyle, Delina Bryant, Christopher Martin Jr., and Ellie Baker. Again, Class 24 and Class 25 should be ringside. I think we're just making sure we have all 13 of these heifers together. We are looking for class 24 and class 25. Should be ringside at this time. Class 26, early summer yearling heifers, first call. Again, class 24 and 25 should be ringside, and this is your first call, class 26, early summer yearling heifers.
This is a really nice class of calves, and again, we're in the AOBs, so I mean, we've got a lot of different breeds out here. By the looks of things, I would guess we have some Shorthorn pluses, some percentage Simmentals, a Charlet, and then some other influences, you know. So again, we have a lot of differences, a lot of different types and kinds, and again, I always think to myself, my first impression is always the best impression, and this young lady that wins the class, that was my first impression when she came into the ring is, man, that one's going to win. I like that one. And I made that same decision with my wife, and boy, she's happy I did. So when I asked her to marry me too. So again, first decision's always the best. Really nice top end. We can bring that red roan out here, the red and white one out here too, line up behind her. These are three really good females. in this calf division. And again, there's little differences. They're all good in their own right, and it depends on what you're looking for and what you want. But all three of these cattle, I think, are very functional as far as structure and soundness as you analyze them from the foot and bone structure up, and their angles to their shoulder and the angle to their hock. Again, put a lot of good things together. This class winner to me, she's just so elegant about her overall makeup and her design. She's very ladylike in her design through that neck and shoulder junction. I love the slope and the angle to that shoulder. And then she just ties into just a big, robust center body. You know, the cowman in me loves the overall maternal look that this one really gives you, and still has enough power and dimension, but still gives you that ladylike look. The blue roan heifer here, I think, is a really nice calf. Congratulations to you. Young man's heifer, I would guess, is a Simmental influenced female coming next. And again, I love the added power and dimension. She's probably got a little bit more bone underneath her. I don't know that she has that much more foot or heel, but she does have an advantage as far as the amount of bone that she carries underneath her and goes. You know, she is long fronted, maybe not quite as elegant and as sharp made through that first 1/3 as our class winner, but boy, she is very feminine made. I love the shape to her skull. I love the length of her muzzle. Again, tremendously long top, strong top. The one criticized that I have on this one, and what really kind of determined it for me, is up on top of that blade. She gets a little blown apart up on top of her spine over that blade and that shoulder, and I'd like to change that about her. I just don't know how that's going to mature out as she gets older, if that's going to stay in and be refined, or if it's going to blow out and make her a little coarser fronted. But again, that's picking on a pretty darn nice heifer there in second. Young man's heifer, the red and white one. Again, this one I gravitated to right away too in this class. A calf that really gives you a nice striking look on the stand, really puts a lot of good things together. Like our class winner, designed through that first 1/3 the same way, very sharp and elegant through that first 1/3, but yet massive and bold in her overall muscle shape and her makeup. I love the shape to the lower portion of her rib cage. I love the depth and shape that she has from her spine down to the bottom of her belly floor. Again, a female that's really adequate as far as foot and bone. It's when we set this one in motion compared to the two ahead of her, she gets a little tight in that spine right in the middle, and maybe this is her first show and she's not quite relaxed, and maybe that'll come, but every time we moved her, she got a little tight up in that top of that spine just before that loin junction. I'd like to change that about her, but that's a really nice female there too. Young man, you should be pretty proud of that one as well. Our fourth place heifer, again, like the cowman in me, I love the cow power and the overall maternal look that this one possesses. Again, looks like maybe she's a percent Simmental type base female, but again, a female that puts a lot of good things together. Just not tight, not as blending from front to rear and top to bottom as the three ahead of her, but again, I think this black, white-bellied spec female is really nice here in fourth. Now, Brockle-faced calf coming next. Again, tremendous amount of width and dimension and power. She's got as much muscle shape up over her top and out through her hip and down through her quarter as anything in the class. But with that mass and power, she gets a little bit wastier in that jaw line, down her throat latch into her brisket there, and again, gets a little bit shorter and rounder out her hip. I'd like to change that a little bit, lengthen out from hooks to pins in this female, but again, I think that's a high-quality one there as well. I like the spec-faced female coming next too. Again, a very maternal, very elegant made type of female. You know, she's probably one of the younger ones in here, and again, gives up some of that size and performance. But again, I think everything puts together really nicely. She too gets a little bit straighter off that front end when she gets out on the move. I'd like to change that about her. But again, I like the shape and the dimension that she has through the center portion of her body as well. The blue roan calf coming here next. Again, I like this one as far as a terminal look, and I guess that's why she is where she is, because I get that terminal implications in her when I analyze her. Very, very sharp made through that neck and the front end. Gets a little bit rounder out that hip, a little bit rounder down around that quarter, and I guess I just don't have as much body capacity and shape to that lower rib cage as some of the heifers in the class ahead of her. But again, one that's really put together really good. To me, I guess I'd like to see this one as a male and as a show steer, but again, I think a really nice female there as well. Big, bold, rugged made type of female coming next. Again, one that looks like she's got a little Simmental influence in her, and you love that ruggedness about her and the boldness and the maternal look that she has. Just not quite as soft through that center portion of her body, doesn't carry that softness out through that flank as some of the heifers in the class ahead of her, but again, very rugged boned, big footed type of female there as well. The Charlet looking heifer that comes next, again, I moved her up. Good job, young lady. moved her up a little bit. You really analyze her. You know, she's not in the quite as much rig and condition as some of the calves that are out here, but when you put nuts and bolts together and you work from the ground up and you analyze this heifer, she's really well structured from the ground up. She's very flexible off of both ends. She flexes that knee, the angle to her shoulder is right, the flex to that hock when she gets out and move. She just needs a little bit more feed and a little bit more time, but I think a really nice female there as well. The white Shorthorn influence looking female coming next here. Again, one that it gives you a little bit more of a terminal look. I don't see a lot of body capacity, a lot of shape coming into this one as she gets older. With that being said, she's really well designed. She's long spined, big hip, stout made, you know, just not quite as flexible off of both ends. I'd like to change her the way she walks out off that front and the way she flexes off that hock in the back. Just get her to be within side of her skeletal means just a little bit better. The black heifer coming here next, again, big, rugged made type of female. Again, female that puts a lot of good things together, just not quite as attractive. She gets a little bit plainer through that first 1/3, a little bit plainer the way her hip and her pin bone and her growth bone is designed out her hip. Just gets a little bit plainer for me. I'd like to change that, make her a little bit more elegant the way she's designed. The two heifers that round off the class, we're going to bring those two together because I think they're very similar in their type and kind. Go ahead, young man, we're going to bring that one too. Again, they're long-bodied. They've got some growth. They've got some length. They've got a lot of good things going for them. They're just not in that show-ready stage here yet. They're really green, and they give up a little bit of power in this class here today. But again, a nice trio of heifers on the top end. Let's give those kids a nice round of applause. Excellent class.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in Class 22. We're looking for Class 24. We have 2 entries in this class, Ryder McNutt and Alyssa Slimmer. Heifers in this class range in age from September 16th, 2021 to October 15th, 2021. Looking for our Class 25 late summer yearling heifers. Entries by Lexi Zepp, Ryder McNutt, Isabella Thompson, and Carly Black. First call, Class 27 April Junior Yearling Heifers. First call, Class 27 April Junior Yearling Heifers. Results from Class 22. First, Madeline Rhodes with MAD CMF Lisa. Second, Keegan McGrew with GCR Dream On Primo. Third, to Dakota Bernard with HAA Lady Liberty Bell. Fourth, to Grady McGrew with GCR Beautiful. Fifth, Charles O'Boyle with Miss Gemma. Sixth, to Ellie Baker with WSFC BRWK Proving Queen. Seventh, to Carly Black with VVF Miss Bluebell. Eighth, to Ellie Baker with BRWK Cali. Ninth, to Madison Hedges Bailey with SSF Miss Jackie 2209. 10th, to Charlotte Holland with Perfect View Vanilla. 11th, to Delina Bryant with BYT Rogue. 12th, to Kylie Shoebrooks with KDSC Shakira. And 13th, to Christopher Martin Jr. with Miss Licorice.
Again, we get into some fall females here, and again, a real easy place to start is this red heifer that comes out. Again, like the last class, boy, this is a high-quality one. I love the foot and bone structure, the depth of heel that this one possesses. Just everything ties together so nicely and neatly. She transitions from that neck into her shoulder, into that heart and that forerib, and then carries that depth and dimension out through that flank. and carries a lot of width and dimension to her as well. You set this one in motion, and boy, she just glides along the ring, just puts a lot of nice things together. You know, is she the most elegantly made through that first 1/3? No, but I think she's very feminine in her makeup for her body style and her foot and bone work that she has. I think she's a very feminine made type of female in a very powerful package. Young man's Baldy heifer, that second. Again, you love the overall length of spine that this one has, tremendously long from head to tail. Again, a female with that length of spine compared to our class winner, she gives up a lot of that center dimension as you look through the center part of her body. I like to deepen her up from her spine down to the floor of her rib cage, carry that depth out to that flank just a little bit more. But again, a nice green, long made type of heifer there to round off the class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in our early senior yearling heifer class. First to Alyssa Slimmer with KJSS, Something About Joe. And second to Ryder McNutt with AASC, Cruella Brilliance. Entering the ring now, we're looking for exhibitors for Class 25. We should have Lexi Zepp, Ryder McNutt, Isabella Thompson, and Carly Black. Heifers in this class range in age from May 2nd to July 11th. We need Class 27 April Junior Yearling Heifers on standby. Sorry about this. This is a single entry. I missed the heading on the next page. So Class 25 is a single entry by Lexi Zepp. Birth date, July 11th.
Single entry here again, a belted Galloway influenced or belted Galloway female. Again, really nicely designed. You know, this breed is a little bit more moderate in their overall type and kind compared to some of the other beef breeds. But again, I think a female very sound at the ground. She's really square and true in her lines. I love the angle and slope to her shoulder, the flexibility from her hock when she gets out and goes. Again, I think a really nice, high quality individual. Let's give this young lady a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Lexi Zepp, on exhibiting your first place heifer in the late summer yearling category, Miss Border View Fleetwood Stevie Nicks. Now we're ready for Class 26, our early summer yearling heifers. We have 3 exhibitors, Ryder McNutt, Isabella Thompson, and Carly Black. Heifers in this class range in age from May 2nd to May 4th. We need Class 27 April Junior Yearling Heifers. Brent Higgs, Isabella Thompson, Gage Axline, Logan Barnett. Ringside, also first call, Class 28 March Junior Yearling Heifers.
Again, an interesting trio of females here in the AOB division. And again, young lady, go ahead and take that heifer out. I'm going to use the heifer again that I think has a more of a maternal look. She's got more rib shape, more rib capacity, just has that brood cow type of look to her compared to the other two heifers that are out here. You set her in motion, and she's probably the freest moving female, more comfortable in her overall skeletal design, and flexes off of both ends just a little bit freer and truer than the two heifers behind her. Again, certainly like to change her and tone her down as far as the amount of condition that she has, clean up that chest floor just a touch, clean up that udder line just a little bit there as well. I just like to tone her down in that aspect. The young man's heifer that comes second, really long-sided, long-spined female, really fresh in her overall appearance and design. And with that overall freshness, she kind of gives up that shape through that center portion of her body. She gets a little bit tighter in that flank, a little bit tighter through the center portion of her body. And again, I'd like to see her flex just a little bit easier off the rear end when she gets out and moves off that hock. But again, I think a really long-sided, very attractive female from the side. Just needs a little bit more body and rib shape to her as you analyze her from the side. Young ladies heifer that rounds off the class. Powerfully constructed heifer. Big top, big hip. You get behind her, tremendous amount of muscle shape and dimension. With that added muscle and dimension that she has, she gets a little bit coarser in her design. She gets bolder in that shoulder, a little bit splayed out up front, too much muscle and mass up front for her. And when she gets out and flexes off that rear end, I'd like to change that about her as well. But again, a really heavy muscled type of female here to round off the class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Entering the ring now, we have Class 27 April Junior Yearling Heifers. We should have 4 entries. Brent Higgs, Isabella Thompson, Gage Axline, and Logan Barnett. Heifers in this age category range between April 5th and April 28th, 2021. Results of our last class. First went to Isabella Thompson with Cave Miss Betty. Second went to Ryder McNutt with CLL CMF Primo. And third went to Carly Black with SSC Lola. March Heifers, Class 28 ringside. Please March Heifers, Class 28 ringside.
Again, a very interesting class in this 4 heifers here in this division in the AOBs. And again, you know, I'd like to modify all these females as far as structure from the ground up. They all need to be changed a little bit, and their flexibility off of both ends. With that being said, the blue roan heifer that starts the class, again, I think out of the 4 is the best designed. She's probably the best looking, the best balanced type of female on the stand when you analyze them. A female that's very elegant and sharply made through that jawline into her neck. You love the femininity, you love the extension that she has up to that first 1/3. She carries a lot of width and dimension. To me, she gets a little bit more pinched in her pins. I'd like to widen her out in that pin set, let her flex then that hind leg underneath her just a little bit more as she goes. But again, I think a very attractive female on the stand to win this class. The speckled park-looking female the young man has here in second, again, I think is the better balanced female of the 3 that are left. I think she's long spine, level top, square from hooks to pins out through that tail head. Again, puts a lot of good things together. This female, too, I'd like to maybe make her a little bit more feminine compared to our class winner. And again, she needs to flex a little bit better off of both ends, a little more set to that pastern would help her flex out and grab some more ground when she goes. The big, large framed red female that comes next, again, you love her overall performance and her size and her scale and her length of spine. This female, too, though, gets a little bit plainer about her first 1/3, gets a little bit plainer on how she travels around the ring off that rear end. I'd like to see her flex just a little bit more all through that hock and grab some more ground when she goes as well. The black heifer that rounds off the class, again, for me, just a little more terminal looking. She doesn't have a lot of shape through that center portion of her body. She gets a little bit more hard made through the middle portion of her body, out through that flank. Again, really long and stout made, and with that extra stoutness and the way she's made, just gets coarser up through her front 1/3, gets coarser through her last 1/3. I like to take that tail head and jam that down into her pins just a touch more. But again, a very heavily muscled heifer to round off the class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in Class 29. At this time, we're going to have Class 28 enter the ring. We are going to have 8 entries in this class, 8 entries in this class. Exhibitors include Reese McNutt, Charlotte Holland, Kylie Shoebrooks, Ellie Baker, Charlotte Smithson, Jonah Grossnickel, and 2 entries from John Crawford. Birth dates for these heifers range in age from March 1st to March 22nd, 2021. First call, Class 29, early junior yearling heifer exhibitors. First call, Class 29, early junior yearling heifer exhibitors. Start making your way to the makeup area. Results from Class 27, April junior heifer yearling heifers. First, Isabella Thompson with Cave Miss Iviana. In second place, Gage Axline with 3 boys, Haley Spring. Third, Logan Barnett with CC Farm Margarita. And fourth, CMF Lady May. Attention in the barn, exhibitors and exhibitors' families. there's someone able to come work the ring, we could use one more ringman. Our AOB classes are rather large. Again, if there's one person available who could come and assist in the ring, our AOB classes are rather large, and it would help if we had one additional ringman. Thank you.
Really nice trio of heifers here on the top end of this class. Young man's heifer that I'm starting off with, again, in my mind, wins the class very easily. A female that's just long and powerful the way she's made, super sound when she gets out on the move, very feminine in overall makeup and design, and yet still bold and has that maternal look and rib shape through the center portion of her body, carries that width and dimension all the way out. I love the angle and set to her hock. I love the way she flexes off of both ends, stays with inside of her skeleton, the way she's designed and the way she's put together. Again, just a real easy place to start for me. Young lady's heifer that comes next, again, I would say a limousine, a limb flex influence type of female, a little bit more moderate compared to our class winner, but again, like I said earlier, size doesn't matter to me, quality does, and this is a high quality female. Again, one that's a little bit longer through her skull shape, the way she's designed. I love the way the neck comes out of the top side of that shoulder, right out of the apex of that blade, again, and then carries that width and that straight line down her spine all the way out through her hip. She's really well put together down low, just maybe gives up some of the pizzazz as our class winner as far as the way she blends from front to rear and top to bottom, but again, a really powerfully bold made center body type of female there in second. The blue roan heifer coming here third. Again, I like this one as well. She complements the two ahead of her, the same type of shape and kind, very maternal look as far as her rib shape and the way she's designed through the center portion of her body. Maybe not quite as elegant, not quite as extended through that first 1/3. I like to change her neck junction, the way it comes into her shoulder just a touch. But again, this female's got a lot of power, a lot of width and dimension, and when this young lady gets her stuck at the side, gives you a really nice show ring type of look and profile from the side. The speckled faced heifer coming here next, probably a Simmental influence type of female. Again, you love the overall brood cow look, the cow power as far as the rib shape down low. A female that's a little more rugged, and with that ruggedness, she's not quite as smooth blending from that shoulder into her forerib out through that flank. I like her to see her transition from that neck into that shoulder just a little bit better. Again, another big-bodied black heifer coming here next. Again, long spine, high-performing type of female. When we set this one in motion, she gives up that structural integrity that the heifers ahead of her do. Gets a little bit steeper and stiffer in that hock when she flexes off the rear end. And again, I'd like to see a little bit more shape through the center portion of her rib cage. The Charlet-looking heifer here coming next. Again, I admire this female for overall added length. I think she's very feminine the way she's designed through her first 1/3. Again, long and true up over her top, really long from hooks to pins, and I like that about her. This one too, when we set her in motion, gets a little bit steeper in the angle of that shoulder, doesn't reach out quite as much as she should off that front end, and gets a little bit stiffer in that hock, tucking underneath her as she goes and not flexing straight as she grabs the ground. A very attractive female, and again, another more moderate one is this brindle-colored one coming next. Again, a female that's, you love her top line, I love her tail head, the way that sets into her pins, and again, the squareness that she possesses up over top. And again, it's very elegant through that first 1/3. She just gives up some of that power and mass as those heifers placed ahead of her here today. She just needs a little bit more time, a little bit more shape through the center portion of her body. Young man rounding off the class, again, a very feminine, long-sided type of female. To me, just gives me a harder look, a little harder doing type of look type of female compared to the heifers in the class. But again, a nice pair of heifers, nice trio of heifers on the top end. Let's give those exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to our March Junior Yearling Heifer exhibitors. We are now ready for Class 29 Early Junior Yearling Heifers. We have 5 entries in this class. Heifers ranging in age from January 10th to February 17th, 2021. Results from our last class is as follows. Congratulations, John Crawford, first with JCRW, Just as Classy. Second, John Crawford, JCRW, Journey, with Don Margie. Fourth, Ellie Baker with Jasmine Wish. Fifth, Charlotte Holland with CF Mathis. Sixth, to Charlotte Smithson with SSF Charlotte's Legend. Seventh, to Kylie Shoebrooks, WBR Miss Mary. Eighth, to Jonah Grossnickel with SFW Made Crystal Clear. In the ring now, we have Class 29. We now need to line up our class winners. Again, we need to start lining up our class winners for the all other breeds. We are looking for our junior heifer calf, calf exhibitor, Madeline Rhodes. Our early senior heifer, Alyssa Slimmer. Our late summer yearling heifer, Lexi Zepp. Our early summer yearling heifer, Isabella Thompson. Our April junior yearling heifer, Isabella Thompson. Our March junior yearling heifer exhibitor, John Crawford. Please start lining your heifers up at this time. We are moving toward the end of our AOB show. First call, breed division winners. First call, breed division winners, cow-calf pairs. Again, first call, breed division winners, cow-calf pairs. Minute break. They need to use the ring. Again, after we select the AOB champion heifer, we are going to take a break before we start on our supreme drive of 10 minutes.
Last class AOBs here, and again a lot of differences all the way through this class, and again in this class I don't know if there's one that just comes out and grabs me that I need to gravitate towards, but the young man here that wins the class again I think is the longest sided, best balanced female in the class. Tremendous amount of length of body, tremendous amount of bone underneath this female. She's really rugged made, but yet still looks like a female. I love the added depth and shape that she has to the lower portion of her rib cage, and again I think just ties everything together in a really nice complete package. When you ask her to get out and go, she is the freest moving heifer in the class here today. The butterscotch Charolais composite influence looking heifer comes next. Again, maybe not total opposite as far as moderation compared to our class winner, but again when you cut down to it and you break down, you analyze these cattle and you look at them from the ground up, this is the best structured one that comes next. She's really good at the ground. She's very flexible off of both ends. I love the added bone and dimension that she has down low and then carries that up high. She's very balanced from front to rear, top to bottom. Again, is she the longest fronted, longest spine type of female? No, but everything balances, ties together from front to rear, from that shoulder junction all the way into her rib cage and out through her hip. Just a really nice butterscotch female there in second. Then I get to struggle between these next two heifers. Young lady's baldy heifer, baldy striped heifer coming next. Again, I like the overall structure in this female. She is probably, when set in motion, is the next best one as far as structure. She gets out and reaches. She covers that track from front to rear, gets out and flexes, still has that feminine look, still has enough body capacity. If I could change her, she gets a little bit tight in that top when she wants to get out and move. I like to relax that spine down in her just a touch more. But again, I think a real functional female there to follow into third. I love the length of body in this bronco-faced cow coming next, this blaze-faced one. A length of spine, length of body, tremendous amount of power up over her top. She's got a lot of width going up over her top into that forerib and carries that width all the way down through her quarter when you get behind her. It's just when we set this one in motion, she gets underneath herself off that rear end just a touch more. I'd like to see her flex a little bit easier as she goes, and then with that added muscle, that's going to be a little bit harder for her to do. The young man's heifer that rounds off the class, just a real easy doing type of feeding heifer. Again, maybe too much. I'd like to tone her down in her overall condition, trim her up just a touch and freshen her up. But again, I think a really robust type of female as you analyze her as far as a brood cow look and the tremendous amount of rib cage that she has and the flexibility that she has off of both ends. I just need to freshen her up, trim her down just a touch to make her a little bit more competitive in this class. Let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to our early junior yearling heifer exhibitors in class 29. We'll do those results after we announce our lineup drive for champion AOB. From our junior heifer calf class, Madeline Rhodes, exhibiting Mad CMF Lisa. From our early senior heifer class, Alyssa Slimmer, exhibiting KJSS, Something About Joe. From your late summer yearling heifer class, Lexi Zepp, Border View, Fleetwood Stevie Nicks. From your early summer yearling heifer class, Isabella Thompson with Cave Miss Betty. From your April junior yearling heifer class, Isabella Thompson, Cave Miss Ivy Ann. From your March junior yearling heifer class, John Crawford with JCRW, Just As Classy. And from our last class of early junior yearling heifers, Chase Harward, exhibiting LCSC Be My Valentine. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our 2022 Maryland State All Other Breed Champion Drive. While our judge sorts through our heifers for this division, I'd like to announce the results of Class 29 early junior yearling heifers. First to Chase Harward with LCSC Be My Valentine. Second, Josie Dell with Country Acres High Ho Fortune. Third, Ellie Baker with Pays to Be Callie. Fourth to Hunter Rhodes with KLL CMF Franny. And fifth to Branson Taylor with AMW Hazley. Again, following the selection of our AOB champion and reserve and our bred and owned, we will take a 10-minute break prior to starting our Supreme drives. We will begin with the Supreme selection of our cow-calf pair, and then the Supreme selection of our heifer, and then the announcement of our Supreme bred and owned heifer.
Well, if you would, ringside, let's put our hands together for the AOB exhibitors here today at your state fair. Again, you get into this division and you got a lot of different breeds and a lot of different types. Again, every breed is known and has a specific interest in the cattle industry, and so you get out here and you're kind of comparing apples and oranges because they're all from different breeds and different influences there. But again, I think the lineup that we have here from one end to the other, again, I think the cattle that are out here, their structural integrity is good. They're good at the ground. They can get out and flex and move. Again, we talked about longevity, and I think all these cattle that are out here have some longevity in them. To me, there's a couple that really that came into the ring that you really have to admire for their overall makeup and design. And, you know, there's 3 of them out here, and there's probably going to be one coming in again for contention for reserve. But, you know, the calf out of that very first class, you know, that was a real fun class to judge. It's a lot easier to judge 13 head than it is maybe just 1 or 2, because you get to analyze and you get to look at things and you get to compare against one another and contrast from one another. And that heifer came out of a really tough class, and she's a really high quality female. Puts a lot of nice things together, very elegant in overall makeup and design. The way she carries that rib cage into her body, out of that heart into her body, out through that flank, just does an excellent job doing that, and just very sound on the move when she gets out and goes. Again, the red heifer out of the fall division there. I love the added bone and the foot structure. I love the set to the pastern of this female. She's very flexible when she gets out and goes. She's really long in her overall design, her makeup, as you analyze her down her spine, and then carries that length out that hip as well. Puts a lot of nice things together. You know, is she one of the most elegantly made? And we talked about that in the class. No, but I think for what her body type is and her bone structure that she has, I think everything matches and puts together that she is a very feminine looking type of female there as well, with the overall added power. Then we get the one out of that second to last class again too, a female again, a limousine female. Just so much power and mass, and the way she's designed, and everything flows so nicely from transitioning from her head and neck into her shoulder, into that point of shoulder, and then behind her shoulder through her body and that lower portion of her rib cage. Very flexible on the move. She's got some added power and some added muscle, and I love the shape and the internal dimension that this one possesses as far as a cow, but yet still very elegant and adds the muscle, and with the muscle is very elegant and very ladylike. So again, you know, out here right now there's 3 of them in contention. We're going to bring another one in. I thought a very good lineup. I thought a very good division. Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause, and I'll get you a champion in reserve. Congratulations.
Congratulations, John Crawford, for exhibiting our champion bred AOB heifer. She will also be your champion bred and owned heifer. The banner John will receive for winning champion AOB was donated by the DeGasper family. We'd like to thank them for their support. Entering the ring now is the second place from your March Junior Yearling class, also exhibited by John Crawford. But on the halter we have Kaylee Shelton. Congratulations, Madeline Rhodes. She's exhibited the reserve champion AOB heifer with her junior heifer calf. Just a side note, both our champion AOB and reserve champion AOB were bred and owned heifers. Congratulations to those exhibitors. If I have my time correctly, it is 2:20. Cow-calf pairs for the Supreme Drive should be here by 2:30 to start our Supreme Breeding Drive. Thank you.
As we wait for the breed champions to make their way for the culmination of the Beef Heifer Show, we'd like to take this time for a special recognition ceremony. This year, the Maryland State Fair supported the 2022 Summer Reading Program, Oceans of Possibilities at Maryland Public Libraries. Please join me in welcoming our special summer reading representatives from public libraries all over the state of Maryland. Children all over the state of Maryland registered for the reading program at their local public library and completed reading logs as they read a variety of books and materials and participated in fun learning activities. The Maryland State Fair supported the Maryland Summer Reading Programs by donating family passes and bookmarks to every library branch in Maryland. These family passes also enabled our summer reading program special readers to join us today for this special reading ceremony. The Maryland Summer Reading Program is a collaborative project between the local public libraries and the Maryland State Library Agency with funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Once again, we congratulate and thank all of our summer reading representatives for their outstanding efforts in reading this summer. We encourage everyone to keep reading and using your Maryland public libraries. And this is Miss Carrie Sanders, who is in charge of this program, and she has a few words too. Can we congratulate these young people again, please?
Hi, everyone. I just want to say a huge thank you to the Maryland State Fair for being a wonderful partner with Maryland State Library Agency and Maryland Public Libraries this year. And we are so excited for our readers. Very excited for our readers. They're all today receiving a beautiful blue ribbon for all the books that they read this summer. And they are receiving a ticket for the ice cream bar, which is really exciting. And they're also receiving a State Fair pin. So we're so proud of our readers, and thank you all for being here. And keep on reading and have a great start of your school year. Thank you so much.
the picture. We're gonna
They going over there to take pictures. Now we gotta go back down those steps. We gotta hold.
whistle, but I ran out of time. Our judge isn't back yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's over there. I didn't see him. I sold some beef while I was standing in line getting a coffee. Sent them to Dave Browning. You know, they have their own stand now, Kathy.
Oh, yeah?
GBL Angus, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you can walk in it. Yep.
I mean, seriously.
Ready? Are they all here?
Waiting on the, I don't see a judge.
He's right there.
He's over there talking.
Waiting on the Shorthorn then.
All right, I'll call
Really?
the Shorthorn.
Karen said they were walking up.
Oh, okay.
Very slow. That's what she told me. But we can start.
Oh, it's Lucas Barnett. Okay. We'd like to welcome you back to the Breeding Heifer Show here at the Maryland State Fair. At this time, we are ready to select our Supreme Champion Cow-Calf pair. From the Angus division, we have Madison Oler, exhibiting FDE Proving Queen, a February 2020 cow with a March 2022 calf on the side. From our Hereford division, JC Mitchell is exhibiting a March 2020 cow with a March 2022 heifer. Our Shorthorn is exhibited by Lucas Barnett, is a May 2020 cow with a June 2022 bull. Our Simmental cow is exhibited by Chase Harward with a 2020 cow and a March 2022 bull. And finally, our AOB cow is exhibited. Do we have us? Our Simmental cow was exhibited by Chase Harward. Apologize about that. And our AOB cow is exhibited by Ellie Baker, 2017 cow. And a April 2022 heifer. This is your Supreme Cow-Calf pair lineup. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and congratulate our exhibitors on their cow-calf accomplishments.
Again, if you would, ringside, let's put our hands together here for our exhibitors out here for our Supreme Cow Calf Drive. Again, there wasn't a lot of numbers. A lot of these were single entries, but again, you get them out here, and the quality is really good. The pairs match up. Got good calves at side. These cows are doing a good job raising those calves, and this is not an easy task. And back home in our show barn, whenever any of my crew or my family says, hey, we should show this one as a pair, I always say no, because it's a pain. It's not easy to manage these cows. It's not easy to manage the calf. Usually they make a heck of a mess in the show barn every day. So again, I commend my hats off to you exhibitors for putting the time and the effort in to bringing these cows here to the show at your state fair. I'm not going to talk everyone. Like I said, we talked them all in the divisions. Again, I think there's a couple pairs out here that are in contention, what a cow should be and what they're doing as far as production and in production and longevity, and still have the overall look and appearance that we want in the cattle industry. But further and foremost, you know, cows that are going to go out and raise calves year after year and do a good job at it. So again, I'm going to go out and select your champion. If you would, put your hands together. Congratulate all these exhibitors today. Congratulations. I'll get you a champion.
Your Supreme cow for the 2022 Maryland State Fair is exhibited by Miss Madison Oler, FDE Proven Queen. Congratulations, Madison. I'm going to give our cows just a second here to All right, I see our crowd has grown around the ring, and that's an awesome thing to see. The support out here for our 4-H exhibitors. Getting ready to select our 2022 4-H and FFA Supreme Heifer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. No, I guess they're not all here yet. Here they come. Attention in the makeup area, we are only picking a Supreme heifer. Again, we are only picking a Supreme heifer. We are not doing a reserve. So if you had a reserve in your breed, we don't need you ringside at this time. Entering the ring at this time, we have our exhibitors competing for Supreme Heifer at the 2022 Maryland State Fair. From our Angus division, the champion was with Miss Blair Heath with a late senior heifer. Our commercial heifer is exhibited by Ryan Stahl and weighed 1,055 pounds. Our Hereford heifer was exhibited by Logan Cady and came from your April Junior Yearling division. Your Red Angus was exhibited by Miss Kelsey Zepp and came from the Junior Heifer class division. Shorthorn. Your champion Shorthorn was exhibited by Keegan McGrew and came from your early junior yearling division. Your Simmental champion was exhibited by Alyssa Slimmer and came from the junior heifer calf division. And your AOB was exhibited by John Crawford and is a March junior yearling heifer. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our Supreme Champion Heifer Drive at the 2022 Maryland State Fair.
I tell you what, folks, let's give them a nice round of applause here today. I thought a very good show. I already know what I'm going to do. I was just making a dramatic effect a little bit, walking around and looking at them. But again, all these cattle deserve another look because of the quality that's out here. Again, a lot of our divisions maybe weren't very deep as far as numbers, but boy, I tell you, you get the cattle out here in this lineup in the drive, and you know, a couple of these divisions we use these calves to win that breed, and they're good calves. They put a lot of good things together. You can project them down the road and being out here as big breds next year, and probably doing a lot of winning on their way there and on their way back as bred females at national junior shows throughout the summer next year. But again, I think real two high quality calves in this lineup. You look at these other cattle that are a little bit older, have some more age on them, but all these cattle all the way through the line. I'm a structure guy. I like cattle that can move. I like cattle that are sound when they flex off of both ends. It's very important to me. In our program back home, that's what we want to do, and that's what we strive to produce and show. And then also breed, you know. So these cattle aren't just in the show ring. We're going to mate these cattle to make them better and bring back offspring out of these cattle. So it's a really neat project here for these young exhibitors, and the quality that they have to start with is tremendous. So again, I talked yesterday about opportunities, and we live in the greatest country in the world, and opportunities are in front of everybody. Everybody has an opportunity. What you do with that opportunity is up to you. How you conduct yourself, how you conduct to others, how you treat others is all up to you. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, you young people, thank your parents, thank your grandparents, thank whoever helped you get to this point. Whether you're out in this ring here right now or you showed all day today, it's very important to thank those people to give you those opportunities. Take those opportunities and make them life lessons. Things you learn in the cattle industry and showing cattle and showing livestock, we learn a lot more about hardship and failure than you do about success. There's nothing wrong with being happy for somebody else. There's nothing wrong with doing a lot of hard work and not ending up the way you wanted it to be. You learn from those mistakes, you learn from those failures. Those are the best life lessons you're going to have in life. We all want to win, we're all competitive, but again, at the end of the day, we're all part of the beef industry, we're all part of the livestock industry, and we're all out here to make it better. I'm going to go out and select your champion, Supreme Female, an outstanding lineup. These kids deserve another round of applause. Please put your hands together.
Yep. Congratulations, John Crawford, for exhibiting the Supreme Champion Heifer at the 2022 Maryland State Fair with his AOB Division winner. We would like to also congratulate John on being the Supreme Champion bred and owned heifer at the Maryland State Fair. Thank you all. We will see you back here tonight for the Beef Steer Show at 7 o'clock. The program for the steer show this evening is posted behind the announcer's booth next to the office. Again, program for the steer show is posted outside the office. Dockside. There's a black pickup truck dockside. You're blocking the food vendors. License plate ZTB5479, a black pickup on the dock side. We also still have a master key up on the announcer's booth that goes to a tack box. I would almost guarantee it. It's got a little clip on it.